Imagine a dictator. What do you see? A harsh, serious older man, right? Someone shaped by years of power and fear. But what if I told you some of history's cruelest rulers were teenagers? Kids barely out of childhood, yet they decided who lived, who died, and ruled with terrifying force. History is full of dark surprises, many of which sound too unreal to believe. Welcome to Tyrant Tales, where we expose power's darkest side. Today, we reveal 5 teenage tyrants, the youngest, cruelest rulers in history. Not just child kings, but figures who unleashed real terror. 5. King Faisal II of Iraq, a child king in a violent cage, with an unfortunate story from 20th century Iraq. King Faisal II ascended to the throne in 1939 at the tender age of 3. He was a child king in a country always on the edge of political violence and change. While Faisal himself was known to be a gentle person, not personally cruel, his life highlights how can even a very young, innocent ruler be trapped within a brutal and tyrannical system. The immense power in his name was often used to implement harsh policies, repress people, and make unpopular decisions by the regents and politicians who truly hold control. His entire childhood and young adulthood were spent against a backdrop of intense political fighting, military takeovers, and growing anger from his people against the monarchy. This was a very violent and unstable time in Iraq's history. The terror wasn't always from Faisal's direct command, but from the brutal system and era he was forced to be a part of. Tragically, King Faisal II's life ended violently in 1958 at only 23 years old. He and his entire family were brutally murdered in a sudden and bloody revolution. His death marked the end of the monarchy and became a symbol of the harsh treatment, the terrifying political climate he was born and ruled over. His story is a chilling reminder of how even a young ruler can be a victim and a symbol of a cruel, powerful system. 4. Pope Benedict IX, the Catholic Church's youngest, most depraved pontiff. We have a unique kind of tyrant. He held not just political power, but immense spiritual authority. Pope Benedict IX became the leader of the Catholic Church in 1032. He was believed to be incredibly young, possibly only 12 years old, or maybe slightly older, around 20. This made him one of the youngest popes ever, and certainly one of the most controversial. His multiple times as pope were filled with scandal, corruption, and a shocking abuse of his sacred office. He was known for living a very immoral life, engaging in wild parties, and being involved in violence. People at the time accused him of terrible deeds, including murder and various immoral acts. Some even called him a demon from hell. Benedict IX wasn't just immoral. He treated the papacy like his own personal toy. In one unbelievable act, he sold his position as pope to his godfather. He reportedly wanted to do this so he could get married. But then, he later tried to take the job back, leading to a confusing time when there were 3 rival popes at once. His actions caused huge chaos and bloodshed in Rome. His family used violence to keep him in power. While not a dictator in the modern sense, he held absolute power over vast lands and people. He used it for his selfish desires, bringing disgrace and terror to the highest religious office. His story is a powerful lesson in how even spiritual power can be, when in the hands of the young and corrupt, can lead to immense tyranny and chaos. Sultan Ibrahim of the Ottoman Empire, the harem's wild ruler. We have Sultan Ibrahim, the man from the Grand Ottoman Empire in the 17th century. Sultan Ibrahim took the throne in 1640 when he was 23 years old. While not a teenager, he was incredibly young for a sultan, and his life had been anything but normal. For most of his youth, he was kept locked away in a part of the palace called the cage, living in constant fear that his own family would have him killed. This long, terrifying imprisonment had a severe effect on his mind. When he finally became sultan, Ibrahim quickly became mentally unstable, leading to shocking acts of cruelty and bizarre behavior that earned him the nickname the Mad. He was known for ordering sudden and harsh executions of important officials, often without any real reason, just because of a sudden suspicion or a fit of rage. People lived in terror of his unpredictable moods. One of his most horrifying acts involved his large collection of women in the palace, called the harem, due to a rumor that one of them had been unfaithful. Sultan Ibrahim, in a truly monstrous act, ordered all 280 women in his harem to be drowned. This was an unimaginable act of mass murder driven by paranoia and madness. He also spent huge amounts of the empire's money on strange things, like wanting rooms covered entirely in valuable fur. His rule plunged the powerful Ottoman Empire into chaos and weakened it badly. Sultan Ibrahim's short time on the throne remains a chilling example of how unchecked power can combine with a broken mind to create unimaginable terror and cruelty. It's truly unsettling to hear about such immense cruelty coming from rulers so young, isn't it? Each story is a stark reminder of power's corrupting influence. If you're finding these untold histories as compelling and disturbing as we do, please hit that like button. 2. Rome's mad gladiator emperor, Emperor Commodus. Emperor Commodus from the powerful Roman Empire. In 180 AD, Commodus became emperor. He was only 18 years old, and everyone hoped he would be a wise and fair ruler. Just like his father, Marcus Aurelius, who was known as a philosopher king. But Commodus quickly became something very different. He loved showing off and thought of himself as a god. He grew incredibly paranoid, always thinking people were plotting against him. This led to extreme cruelty. Commodus became obsessed with being a gladiator. He would enter the arena himself, fighting against animals and sometimes even people who were injured or had no chance against him. Imagine the emperor, who should be ruling a vast empire, instead dressed as a fighter, demanding to be worshipped for killing weak opponents. He even forced important government leaders and senators to fight as gladiators, just for his amusement. His paranoia turned deadly. He began ordering the deaths of many important people in Rome, often without good reason. He would accuse them of treason, have them tortured, and then executed. His behavior was so unpredictable and violent that people lived in constant fear of offending him. Commodus's wild spending and strange actions caused big problems for the empire. His rule became a time of fear and uncertainty, showing how even a young ruler with all the power in the world can become consumed by madness and cruelty. He truly led Rome into a darker age. 1. King Monarch II of Baganda, the boy who burned his people. Our number one teenage tyrant is King Monarch II from the Kingdom of Baganda in 19th century East Africa. He took the throne in 1884 at the tender age of 18 years old, a young man who quickly wielded unimaginable power. Monarch II became king at a time when new ideas, especially Christianity, were coming into his country. Many of his young helpers, called pages, were becoming Christians. Monarch saw this as a direct threat to his power and his old ways, and he reacted with a shocking level of cruelty that cemented his place as one of history's most terrifying young rulers. He began to severely punish anyone who defied him, especially the new Christian converts. He ordered them to give up their new faith. When they refused, his anger was terrible. In one of history's most horrifying acts of religious persecution, he ordered many Christians to be tortured and then burned alive. Imagine being a young person, maybe even a child, working in the king's palace. You have a new belief, but the teenage king demands you give it up. If you don't, you face unimaginable pain. Many of these brave people, now known as the Uganda martyrs, stood firm in their beliefs, even as they faced a terrible death by fire. Monarch didn't just target Christians. He was known for his sudden rages and would order people to be killed for small reasons. His decisions plunged his kingdom into civil wars and chaos, causing huge suffering for his people. He didn't rule for long after these terrible acts, eventually being removed from power. But his young reign remains a chilling and truly shocking example of how a young ruler's fear and anger can lead to unimaginable cruelty, making him our number one teenage tyrant. Conclusion: the chilling paradox of youth and tyranny. From King Faisal II was caught in a violent system, to Pope Benedict IX's unbelievable corruption, Sultan Ibrahim's chilling madness, Emperor Commodus's brutal descent, and finally, King Monarchs II's horrific persecutions. These stories reveal a chilling truth about power. They remind us that the ability to be cruel isn't limited by age. Whether it's a teenager's rage or a child caught in a system of terror, absolute power can corrupt even the youngest minds or trap them in terrifying situations. The teenage tyrant is more than just a shocking phrase. It's a stark chapter in human history. These tales teach us vital lessons about always watching for unfair power and protecting freedom. Which of these young rulers' stories shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to Tyrant Tales for more chilling revelations from history, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next expose.